Well, in his maiden credit policy announcement, RBI Governor Raghuram Rajan made the markets see red today. The RBI hiked the repo rate by 25 basis points to 7.5%, raised the reverse repo to 6.5% from 6.25%. The CRR, though, was left unchanged at 4%.
By 75 basis points. We've also announced an intention to return to normal monetary operations, where the repo rate will return to being the effective policy rate, and liquidity conditions need not be as tight as they currently are. Let me emphasize that the difference between the MSF and the repo rate will be brought down to 100 basis points. At the same time, recognizing that inflationary pressures are mounting and determined to establish a nominal anchor which allows us to preserve the internal value of the rupee, we have raised the repo rate by 25 basis points. The intent here is that when the repo rate becomes the effective policy rate, it should be consistent with inflationary conditions in the economy. On net, these measures will reduce the cost of bank financing substantially while allowing us to take an appropriately precautionary stance on inflation.
I think the attention of the central bank of the country must always be on inflation and price stability. This is not to say that the other factors are not important. Growth, financial stability are all important objectives. But in relation to price stability, the central bank of the country has a greater responsibility. It is true also that inflation is not totally determined by demand considerations or cannot be controlled only through the actions of the Reserve Bank of India, that is through a central bank actions. But nevertheless, among the various objectives, more importance has to be attached to price stability. Well, in some sense, you have to bring down inflation. And if you have to bring down inflation, some demand pressures have to be curtailed. And therefore, this is a very difficult choice. Otherwise, we are helpless. I mean, just to say that improving certain structural factors will alone bring about a reduction in inflation is not adequate. I think the monetary authority has also a role to play.